Okay, I know it almost looks like I gotta wet my pants when I'm so exuberantly excited. Sometimes I feel like I got to. The truth of the matter is, I'm exuberantly excited. It's Thursday morning. It's 10:04. No, it's not. I keep saying it's Thursday. It's Wednesday morning. Hello, Brian. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Dequan Tavios. Hello, Jimmy. It's Thursday morning. It is January 3rd, and it is 10:47 a.m. I'm so excited. Good morning, Miss Hampton. Good morning, RJ. I'm so excited because my morning, as is most mornings, was fairly chaotic. And it involved driving kids to wrestling meets, getting groceries delivered, unloading them, cleaning house, waking early, tending to two crying babies, and just kind of life. Just kind of life. And sometimes life can feel like more of a struggle. And again, I keep looking back because my dog Holly is click clacking on the hardwood in the kitchen. Kind of drives me crazy when I'm trying to do it live. And the only way I've found to soothe her anxiety that is her pacing about the floor. Hello, two girl mom. Hello, Jordan Thomas. Hello, RJ. Thank you for sharing the live and sending me that video yesterday. Kind of inspired me just a bit. But anyway, I got through my morning. I went and laid my kids down, my little two beautiful babies, in their beds. I took Holly on a very short stroll to the end of the block and back. I moved her bed into here, hoping she would lay on it and stop, pacing, sniffing, being a dog. But she's still pacing and she's still click clacking, and I'm hoping she lays down on her bed, and she just did. I'm so excited about that. So, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Stay at Home with Ken. It's a little show. It's a spin-off of a show I started about 4.5 years ago. And it is a show that is developing, a show that I am striving to keep my sanity while charging forward in the chaos that can be life. And again, Holly, I whispered a moment ago how excited. Go lay down, Holly. Go lay down. How excited I was. Holly laid down. It only lasted for about 15 seconds, and she thought she should check out what I'm doing. Oh, I told her to go lay down. She went back around the island that I'm sitting at. Go lay down, Holly. And came at me from the other direction, hoping that would be okay. She's staring at me right now, giving me the guilty eye. I might go let her down in my sunroom. She's got a bed in there. Gonna see if she'll quiet down. No, Holly, we're not going out the garage. We're not going. Oh, Holly, go in. No, come on. Hope that worked. I'm not sure that it will. She'll probably start kicking at the door. Oh, sorry, a little stressed out this morning. I'll tell you what's really getting to me today. Hello, Jake Sab. Is that I tried to rest my phone against a bag of oranges, these little cutie oranges today, and it wasn't tall enough. So instead, I grabbed a bunch of green bananas, and I have two bunches in case anyone's wondering, and I'm using those green bananas to lean my phone against. Jimmy's asking if I have a tripod. No, I do not, Jimmy. My wife had one of those ring lights that I occasionally use. I'm kind of a low-tech, not tripods are that tech, low-tech guy. I like to be able to hop on my phone and lean my phone against anything, anywhere, at any time. And to be carrying around ring lights and tripods and fancy cameras so far isn't the way I've elected to go. with my show, Coffee with Ken. But again, this is Stay at Home with Ken. And again, it's a show I started a few weeks back, a spin-off of my original Coffee with Ken show. Used to be doing my show every morning live at 8 o'clock. But life got in the way, and that slot doesn't work for me. And I'm juggling my two little babies, my dog, my grocery delivery, my house life. And hello, Jenna. And doing the best I can. And I found usually sometime around 10:30, my babies are getting tired and are ready to lay back down. And a few weeks back, I thought I would lay them down for their nap and see if I could hop on live and make it happen around 10:30. Not as ideal of a time slot, I know, as 8 o'clock. But again, I think in life we do the best we can. And if this is the best we can, this is the best we can. So I appreciate anybody that's hopping on. I see a bunch of new people joining. But again, this is kind of a spin-off. And when I do a spin-off, I don't like to go too far. I like to keep it, I don't know. I found coffee is a friendly thing, a friendly backdrop for a talk show. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people, most people like a cup of coffee. Most people start their day with some coffee. It's kind of a nice fill-in during a conversation. People meet for coffee. I gave up drinking over 2 years ago. So I don't want to do it beer with Ken anymore. But coffee with Ken seems like a friendly reason to get together and have some conversation and start our morning. So with that in mind, I poured this hot cup of coffee. I had it covered for a bit with my coffee filter, trying to keep it hot. Desperately trying to keep it hot. And I'm excited to have my first sip on this show, and I hope wherever you are, despite it almost being 11 o'clock, and I've said it before, coffee's not just for breakfast these days. But despite it being 11 o'clock, I'm excited to have a sip of coffee with you all. And my hope is that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you too have a hot cup of coffee in front of you on this Wednesday morning, this January 3rd of 2024. Cheers to us. Oh, it's our second pot. It's the bottom of the pot, but it's still tasty. It's the Starbucks Peppermint Mocha. We started our day with a pot of gingerbread. I do a morning video every day called My First Sip, and something went askew during the night, and my coffee maker got started during the night, and I did my first sip video to very tepid coffee. To coffee that had been sitting out all night, and I wasn't aware of it. So I took my first sip and I struggled through it. And I named my first sip Rolling with It or something like that. Because I think in life it's important we learn to roll with the struggles we have, the challenges we have, the dog click-clacking on the floor, the son having to go to wrestling practice that you weren't aware of, the whatever troubles you might have. You're better off rolling with it and smiling through it and doing the best you can. And that's what I try to do. And again, I'm a work in progress, and I'm striving forward in a bunch of different ways and trying to get a little better and trying to take the good with the bad and the bad with a smile. And again, I'm just doing my best I can, being a 55-year-old guy with living in a house with 5 beautiful children, a beautiful wife, a dog, 2 cats, and a whole lot of life. And again, doing my best. So let's have a little more coffee. Jimmy asked if we reheat our coffee when it gets cold. Yeah, I usually drink, and this was probably one of the reasons I stopped drinking alcohol a couple of years ago. Whatever I am doing, I tend to do it a lot, and I tend to do it quickly. I drink a lot of coffee. I tend to drink it pretty fast. I used to drink a lot of beer, so I never was one that needed one of those little huggies that wraps around your beer to keep it warm, because generally my beer would be gone before it got warm. Same is true with my coffee. Occasionally, though, I will get in a nice conversation. A lot of times on this show, I'll be talking a lot and lose track of my coffee, and it'll kind of get, as I like to say, tepid, and I have to microwave it up. So we do that. We prefer it hot out of the pot. But again, we roll with it and we do the best we can. And this morning on my first sip video, and it is strange. Let me talk for a moment about TikTok. I posted this first sip video at 6 o'clock my time about 5 hours ago. And for some reason, it's never fully posted to TikTok. And I'm not sure why that was, but they said they were reviewing it or processing it, so it couldn't be shared yet. And I thought it was a pretty good show. So it's just kind of sitting there in the netherworld of TikTok and hasn't yet posted, but hopefully it'll get posted, I don't know, sometime today. I like to think my first sip video is kind of a timely video. The goal of it is to share my first sip of coffee with the viewing audience and just share some thoughts and share some feelings and kind of get stuff off my chest. Thank you, Jimmy. Get stuff off my chest as best I can and get me ready and psyched for the day. Because I don't know, I always feel pretty good after I go live or after I do one of my videos or after I post one of my videos. Again, I've said it a lot before. It always feels kind of like therapy for me and feels pretty good. It's kind of funny. Went and saw my therapist yesterday afternoon. Oh, yes, I did. And it was a really good session. I just kind of got in there. I apologized to her in advance and during and at the end for my need to vent. And maybe you shouldn't have to apologize to your therapist for venting to them because that's why they get paid the big bucks. But I felt I had a lot that I needed to get off my chest. And so I did. Let's have a little more coffee. If I could do it all over again, I might go into therapy. And I don't even know if I'd be any good at it. But I think it's a business in demand. I think mental health is getting a focus that it hadn't in any time before in history. And taking care of those that are struggling or hurting or feeling wrong inside seems to have a more important focus from the world than it used to. And because of that, and again, I talked about it before, I originally tried to make an appointment with a therapist about a year ago, and I was put on like a 2-month waiting list. And again, I don't know about you, but if you're one that's reaching out looking for help, you don't want to be on a waiting list. I know I didn't. But I waited because, again, one of the things I'm working on in life is patience. And they say patience is a virtue, and it is. And patience for whatever you're doing, whether it's self-improvement or, I don't know, waiting for things or waiting for the world to happen. I think you're better off doing it with a little bit of patience. Sandra says, I guess TikTok is my therapy, always helping people with their issues. It consumes you. Yeah. Well, I appreciate, Sandra, your desire to help, and I think that's awesome. Libby says happy Wednesday and says she's not waiting anymore. Kendall's asked how my morning is going. I'll tell you what, it feels so much better once I got my babies down. Again, I was kind of juggling other things. They woke up. They slept in fairly well today. Slept till about 7, but I had a bunch of other things to do. Just nothing, not brain surgery or anything, but just getting groceries delivered, putting them away, trying to take care of the dog, trying to tend to stuff. And they were kind of getting fussy. And it felt so good to lay them down. And my 3 stepkids are all sleeping in the house right now. And again, I just use this opportunity to hop on and talk to you guys live for a little bit. For those that don't know, I was a realtor for 17 years, and before that I was a stockbroker for 10. Done a few other things in my life. I've done a few stints as a waiter. As a realtor for 17 years, I did fairly okay. I made some decent money on some years. I always made fairly decent money, but I never felt really good about what I was doing. or like I was contributing in the way that I wanted to contribute to the world, that I'd like to contribute to the world. But I've been doing this show for 4.5 years, and I talk about things like anxiety and addiction and gambling and relationships and fatherhood and divorce and struggles, in a little way, in a frank way that I think most people probably wouldn't or probably don't, and in a way that seems to resonate with an audience and connect with an audience. And it's just a guy talking about life. And I felt I was contributing more to the world, or adding more to the world, just doing these live shows from time to time, than I ever did as a realtor. And maybe that was my perception, but even if it was my perception. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like what do they call, a hamster on a wheel, always chasing for my next, person looking to buy or sell a home. Uh, and I don't know. I just didn't want to be a hamster on a wheel. Uh, yeah, but in other words, I was searching for myself. Perhaps I was. Perhaps I was. And I don't know if we ever stopped searching. I wonder if we ever stopped searching. You know. Hey, Brian, I don't know. Reach out to me. Don't ask it on a comment on my live stream if you would. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate you, Brian. Yeah, Jimmy, I worked at Target for 7 months as well. In February, I started a job, and I never worked a regular job where you go, you clock in, you do what they tell you, and you get paid a wage. And again, I say that with somewhat of a, I don't know if it's a sneer or a smile or what have you, but I say it with kind of a chuckle or a laugh. And yeah, I never had an experience like that, and it felt good. I really enjoyed the crud out of it for a while. Target's a huge company, though, and again, I want to make a difference and feel like I matter and feel like I'm contributing in some way. And maybe I put too much pressure on myself to make some grand contribution to the world, but I obviously wanted more than that. And I don't know, late summer, I think my time was up, and I worked till September at Target. And I like to say I ran the most exciting aisle at Super Target. Yeah, the most exciting aisle at Super Target. I manned aisle 910, which is the cereal and Pop-Tart and breakfast aisle, for about 7 months, and enjoyed it for a while. And I don't know, appreciated the work, but again, was still searching for myself, and maybe I still am. Maybe I still am. My wife and I talk about it a lot. Found a job about 2 months ago, excuse me, and we were discussing it. A few months back, she was considering going back to work, and I'm going, well, what would you do if you didn't need the money at all? Would you work at a florist? Because she's likes flowers and likes art, and that wasn't quite the right fit for her. She likes to think the universe answered her wants or her wishes, and I think she found a perfect job for her. And hopefully that'll happen to me, and I think that it will, and maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. Sandra says she worked with kids for 38 years. When you retire, it's like you were never there. I don't know what that means, Sandra. Hey, Ikago, thank you so much for following the live creator. I so appreciate that. And again, I so appreciate you guys for tuning in today. I don't know how much I have for you. I do like going live. I try and go live as often as I can. Sometimes I have a whole bunch to say. Sometimes I have a very little to say. And even sometimes when I have very little to say, it, yeah, I don't know. I end up talking for 45 minutes. So, yeah. Stars wondering if I watch Bluey. No, I don't watch Bluey. We watch a lot of Sesame Street at home. We watch a little bit of Miss Rachel. And a little bit of Miss Rachel. And my daughter Eve, who's just over 1 year old, loves Frozen for some reason. And I find that interesting. Obviously, a little girl, and Frozen's got two lead women in it. But she's one. She's one. I wouldn't think that a 1 year old would have the patience to watch cartoon characters singing songs about letting it go and whatever else they might sing about. But she does. And my little boy Augie, who's 2.5, is fitting right into the sexual stereotypes and playing with cars and watching Cookie Monster and imagining making a big mess as he's eating cookies. Yeah, and kind of makes me laugh. You know what makes me smile, though? That my babies are sleeping. And that my babies are sleeping and that the stepkids are sleeping and that the house is quiet outside. I think I hear Elmo's voice in the distance. And that makes me smile. And it's going to give me an opportunity to get some things done. Still got some groceries that need put away. Always got laundry that needs done. And again, when you live in a house with 5 kids, I don't know, life can be messy. And it probably can be, I know, I've lived by myself. And I'd take living with 5 kids over living by myself because I found life can be messy. Sometimes life's the messiest, even on the quiet times when you're home alone and your mind's working overdrive and you got some anxiety and you got some thoughts bouncing around your head. And I don't know, just kind of having the blur of activity, feeding kids and changing diapers and cleaning the house and what have you, whatever else, however else the time goes. Keeps your mind occupied and keeps you busy, but also can drive you crazy from time to time. And I think that's a balancing act, and I know it's a balancing act for me, and might be a balancing act for others as well. Again, I only have my perspective to go from, and that's my perspective. Shannon asked if Erin has picked her college yet. No, I have 2 girls from a first marriage, 17 and 14. Erin hasn't decided on school. She's had a leading candidate for quite some time, and but she hasn't picked her school yet. And she's applied to a couple other schools. I don't know. I'll be excited for her, but I'll be also kind of sad because I always tell her, I remember when she was this big, and she's going to be going off to school, and I don't see her nearly as often as I'd like right now, and. I don't know. Maybe I'll just drive out to wherever she goes and visit, and then she'll have to see me. I don't know. But anyway, I so appreciate you guys for joining today. Again, I don't have a whole heck of a lot for you. I try and go live at about 10:30 each day, and I try and do my best, whether it's physically or emotionally or spiritually or relationship-wise or just the way I speak to myself in my own mind or speak to others on the street or through social media or what have you. And I so appreciate you guys for hopping on today. And I hope your week's going well. I hope your New Year's went well. It's Wednesday morning. It's hump day. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're excited about your day. I hope you're living in the moment. You're loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.